Lions TV, this is your post-match analysis video for Saturday's 1-1 draw against Sunderland at a sold-out Den, the biggest crowd officially at the Den since 1995. Lots of conflicting thoughts on, was it a good game, wasn't it a good game, did we play well? We definitely should have won, we know that much. As always, let's start out by taking a look at the 11 that Gary Rowett picked to start the match. And there it was. There was changes, of course, from last time out, which was 2 weeks ago, a 1-0 win at Cardiff. Callum Styles injured his calf and dropped out. Murray Wallace come in. And Charlie Creswell come back in for the skipper, who is again injured. Not sure what's wrong with Hutch. Might be hamstring, actually. Don't think that's a major concern and long-term injury. Thank God. Although I thought Creswell played really well in the game, if I'm honest. And then that was pretty much it, I think. Changes were potentially thought to be made. I definitely think a few of us thought they might have been on the wide areas, but we won the game against Cardiff, and George Honeyman played particularly well in that game. And I thought we had a really good game again at the weekend, possibly in contention for man of the match. And Mason Bennett on the other side, we'll get into that a little bit later. Best wishes to him. I'm hearing he's fractured his ankle. Of course, he did leave our two signings on the bench, Burke and Watmore. We saw Watmore introduced at half time, and we wasn't sure how this game was going to go. It was one of them where we say, it's there, and we get a big crowd there, and this is the game that could push us just to that next level because we're hovering where we're hovering. And as I said before, we're in a good position, but when that carrot's dangled and we're nearly there, we don't sort of get it over the line. I'm going to start by saying, conflicting, opinions online. Was it a good performance? Was it not? I mean, I spoke to my best mate about an hour after the game, and I answered the phone. I said, "All right, mate." He went, "We were fucking shit," and I laughed because honestly, hand on heart, I don't know what else we could have done to win that game. Okay, I thought we went for it. I thought we were by far the dominant side. George Long hasn't had a shot at him until the late drama, which we'll get onto a lot later on. We've scored a goal. We've scored another goal that's been wrongfully disallowed. 2 blatant Stonewall penalties turned down. We've hit the bar as well, and George Honeyman's pulled a brilliant shot out of the bag, and it's been brilliant saved by their keeper in the second half. So I physically don't know what more we could have done. I thought we dominated the game. Game starts out. Sunderland popped it around nice and early. And then we sort of took control. And Tony Mowbray said, we couldn't play how we wanted to play. But he did give us a lot of credit, their manager. So it's a difficult place to come. And full credit to Millwall. They stopped us playing the way we wanted to play. And, they're doing better in the league than we are. So we can have no complaints. And I definitely feel that Mowbray and his men and the 3,000 Mackems, fair play to them that came down, sell out everywhere they go, and they made some serious noise, and they went on with a point undeservedly, unfortunately, if you're a Sunderland fan watching this. And if you are not a regular on this show, you will know I absolutely hate to blame officials. I think if you're good enough to win a football match, you'll win it. However, possibly for one of the 3 times, maybe the first ever on this channel, we have been done by the officials there. Absolutely no question about it. No question about it. As I said, Sunderland popped the ball nicely, first 5 minutes. Then we got into it and we started to get in their faces a bit, get plenty of balls into good areas, cause confusion in opposition areas. And eventually, we get the ball in the channel. I think it's Danny McNamara. So Tom Bradshaw chases it, and Bradshaw's hold-up play has got a lot better. His aerial duels have got a lot better. He's winning a lot more of them. He actually won more headers than Ollie Burke did when Ollie Burke come on and replaced him, and he's probably got 6'3", Ollie Burke. Bradshaw a lot more slight, of course. And he turns inside brilliantly. As he opens up on his left peg, goes to pull the trigger. He's pulled down right in front of us. Right in front of us. Linesman's right there, right in front of me. No penalty. Okay, we know that happens to us. We are used to it. There is this myth that, the powers that be, the Football Association and whoever else don't want us in the Premier League due to the utter carnage it probably would cause for the 1/2 seasons we'd be there. And I don't buy into that, but I can't explain what happened Saturday beyond belief. Stonewall penalty. And I'm one of these that go, there was one later on in the half, a third one call for a penalty. I think it was in the second half. I think it's Watmore come through. Everyone screamed, that wasn't a penalty. But the other two definitely were. But before the second penalty appeal, we actually have a really good chance come down the line. I think it may have been Honeyman, who I said had a really good game in my opinion. He cuts it back. Mason Bennett strikes from the edge of the area. In real time, he run onto it. Everyone's travelling at pace. It just went wide. I thought he was unlucky. He was unlucky, but I think on reflection, I'm watching it back on the highlights the next day, he probably feels that he would have hit the target or should have hit the target. That's probably the furthest thing from Mason Bennett's mind at the minute, let's be honest. But look, we carried on pressing. We didn't let it deter us. And eventually we get the breakthrough. And I can't remember the exact instance of where the first goal that got disallowed came from. I can't remember where it came from, a corner and a second pattern of play, because there was a few people in and around the area. Zian Fleming hits one, edge of the box, goalkeeper fumbles it. Honeyman comes from, again, over towards where we were in the Dockers stand, comes back round, left foot, finishes it, goal. Linesman right in front of us, goal. Honeyman, if you watch it on the highlights, actually looks across to check, nothing given. He doesn't celebrate, of course, ex-Sunderland player. Respects him for doing that. He respects the Sunderland fans and the club, and that's just the sort of character he is. Seems like a good guy, Honeyman. I like him a lot. So 1-0, we're going mad. Bear rugs flying around, people, EIO, the lot, goading the Sunderland fans. And then all of a sudden, as we're going to reset, the ref's trotting over. Now, but to the linesman, where we are again, over by this point, it's almost as if, like, there is no VAR in the Championship. It's gone on for that long. It's like the game sort of stopped for a VAR decision. He comes over to the lino. They have a chat, and I see the referee. I can see his face. I can see the back of the linesman's head. Unfortunately, fortunately for him, he couldn't see what we was all saying to him. He wouldn't like to see us face to face, the lino. So the ref has a chat with Lino and says something, and the ref said to the lino, "Go on then," and then the lino puts his flag up, and the goal is disallowed for George Saville, deemed to be in an offside position, and he didn't touch the ball, but because he was in allegedly the goalkeeper's eye line, then that makes him interfering with play. Well, first and foremost, what do you want? You want everyone else to step off the pitch so a goalkeeper can see a shot every time he comes at him. That's one. Secondly, there was a lot of Sunderland players in and around it. I know they're not the ones in question of being offside, but there's bodies everywhere. Now, the linesman hasn't seen it because he hasn't flagged. Okay. The ref, all I can think at the time is, well, the ref's obviously changed the linesman's mind. I can't work it out. But basically, he was adjudged to be in the eye line of the goalkeeper, George Saville, who didn't score the goal. It's George Honeyman. The keeper saw it because he saved it. He fumbled it. It wasn't a powerful shot. It was just a mistake from the goalkeeper, bad goalkeeping. Honeyman knocks it in 1-0, and that really knocked the stuffing out of me, let alone the players and everyone else, Gary Rowett, and he just zapped it out of us. It's just an absolute joke. But after that, we didn't let it deter us on the pitch. We carried on. Another ball into the box. Jake Cooper gets a lot of physical attention. We know that. And I've seen with my own eyes, two hands, as the ball's in the air, their player's not even looking. Bang. Over goes Cooper. The ref is standing right there. He looks at it for a fucking eternity. And then he's just not giving it. I can't. It's beyond belief, honestly, that Saturday. And I'm annoying myself banging on about it because I don't like these whingy bastards that go, the ref this, the ref that, the linesman. But I don't know what else to tell you. I only say what I see. And I'm telling you, if for some adequate officiating, we would have won that game on Saturday. So for those who think it wasn't a good performance, we never have lots of possession. We never played beautiful football, but we played the Millwall way on Saturday, in my opinion. We got the ball into the box, tried to hurt them in areas that we knew we could. Very physical, a lot of aerial battles, and we stuck it on them. We deserved to be in the lead at half-time. Of course, bang on half-time, Mason Bennett goes off. Again, the game's carried on. We're all watching it. Look back, Bennett's on the floor. And I know we laugh and we joke and we call him sick note and whatever, but no one likes to see someone in that much pain, especially one of our own players. So all the best to Mason Bennett. I hope he gets well soon, and I hope he gets playing soon. However, I do think that will probably be his last game for us. Rumours he's got a fractured ankle. He's out of contract at the end of the season. I think he's on a pay-as-you-play contract as well. And it might sound a bit harsh. I'm pretty sure he doesn't watch the show. Apparently likes to drop a Call of Duty instead. But look, if any professional football club in England or anywhere in the world gives Mason Bennett a professional football contract after looking at his record for us, I can't see it's going anywhere for him. And it's almost, he gets these injuries. He's not lying. I mean, he's fractured his ankle. He has pulled out in previous games, minor stuff. but he's not making it up. And it's strange because he's an absolute tank, but his body just doesn't seem fit for purpose for a football match. And I'm not one to talk, but I'm not a professional footballer. It's really strange because he looks strong and he's powerful, but his body just isn't fucking cut out for it, unfortunately, by the look of it. A little bit like, I don't know, other strikers, Michael Owen, people like Darren Ander, Michael Owen, Darren Ander, where I pulled that one from. Michael Owen scored a lot of goals, but he had problems with his hamstrings throughout his career. Pacey strikers do, and I just feel Mason Bennett, as I said, his body just isn't fit for purpose. So at half time, we've gone in, we've got this thing with the officials. They've been booed off. Good to see they did their job properly, by the way, and just fucked off and left Mason Bennett out there. A little bit of a care for the players. And then Rowett's got to make a substitution. So he makes that substitution. He brings on the new signing, Duncan Watmore. And I really like him. I felt he struggled to get into the game, but I think he's going to be a really good player for us. And I think Berkwood as well. But I'm going to get onto that a little bit later because it'll be more a reflection on going forward for the QPR game. But Rowett's got into him. You never want to try and make a sub. Have to make a sub, bang on half time. He's had to do that. He's had to keep them calm and stay focused on the job. I would have thought, we will get a breakthrough, try and, blank out what the ref's done and the officials have done. And we will get it eventually. And we come out the second half, and I thought we was more dominant in the second than we was in the first. George Long's had nothing to do. First shot he's had to save was obviously the goal. But other than that, he's had one cross that's come across the face of his box. He's dived out and pushed out really well. It wasn't going on target, but he's definitely going across the box at pace towards some Sunderland players at the back post. That was his first action. That was about 70 minutes. So for those saying it wasn't a good Millwall performance, and why haven't we killed these teams off? Well, we did score 2 goals. We should have also had 2 blatant penalties. I think Murray Wallace has hit the bar. George Honeyman's pulled out a brilliant strike and a world of a save from their keeper, who redeemed himself for his earlier mistake for the ghost goal that never was. But of course, I'm skipping ahead. We do score a goal. And if you don't know where I sit up by the scoreboard next to the away fans. So when goals go in at the Cold Blow Lane, you can see them go in. Of course you can. But when you're at pitch level, it's difficult to tell sometimes that how far out it is or what angle it went in. And the crosses come in, big melee, and see Cooper land on the floor, and all of a sudden just seeing the balls come out of nowhere and loops into the top corner. It's an absolute superb finish from Captain Juicy Jake. I was going to call him Captain Fantastic, then fuck knows why. I've never said that in my life. But there he is. And there he is again. Look, it was his birthday during the week. I fucking love this guy. I think he's superb for us. I think he always has been, and I rate him highly. I'm not sure if he's going to be out of contract as well in the summer, but I'm sure the club will get him tied down to a new one. Let's hope it's get done sooner rather than later. So we're 1-0 up anyway. Now, from here, this is the only question. I'm not criticising. Pete O'Mara did a very good fan cam after the game, and he said in that video, which was the title of the fan cam, if you haven't already, check out the channel, it's up. He said in that video, we dominated the game until we scored. Now, that's not criticism. That's an observation. He's absolutely 100% spot on. Now, why does that happen? Sometimes we concede, and then when we concede, like especially away from home, we then go and equalise. And I've said it before in videos. Why do we wait for teams to score against us before we then go and attack? A lot of you will say we get in front and then we sit. Someone very rightly said in the comments, the best form of defence is attack. It's a very old cliche in football, but one that's warranted. Now, what I'm saying is, I don't know. I can't see that Gary Rowett said, right, everyone's got to sit back now. We scored, everyone's going to sit back. I don't think it's that. I think Sunderland will set up for a point and they won't have to go for an attack and a goal unless they concede, and then they've got to try and force our hand. They've got to try and get back into the game. We dominated, if not possession, definitely proceedings for a long time. So long periods is what I was trying to think, but I can't edit this video, but I'll get onto that later as well. Anyway, so they're going to come at us now. They bring on our fucking mate, Ginger Bollocks, who got booed non-stop, and I knew he'd fucking some players like to get booed out, thrive on it, didn't they? And he come off the bench and he done well. But they started to come back into it. As I said, now is that a decision from Rowett? Right, everyone sit back. Now, we scored. I think that a lot of you lot think that. I don't think that's the case. I think Sunderland have come for a point, they've conceded. They now need to get back into it. We've been pressing. The momentum swung. They've got 3,000 fucking screaming Mackems behind the goal. They've got to try and give their fans something who have travelled fucking 9 days to get there, it's miles. Something to get back in the game. And they try and force their hand. They're a good side. And they did that. And they started to come forward. Did we really look shaky though at times? No. George Saville concedes the free kick, and I thought Saville had a really good game other than that. But I did say in a recent video that Saville's now turned into, in his older days, bit rich coming from me, but in his football career, he used to be that attacking midfielder that arrived late in the box. He's now getting a bit older, and it happens with a lot of players. They sort of, their roles change within a side as they get older. They sort of may become deeper or whatever. And Saville seems to become a little bit of a weird one, a bit of a posh hard man, like kicking people up in the air and a little bit more kickballer can bite and winning the ball so Billy Mitchell can then distribute. But he's giving away too many fouls. And he gives away the free kick that leads to the goal. However, again, praise the players, bodies on the line, did everything they could. And we should have seen the game out. The reason we haven't seen the game out, I'm sorry to say this, and I don't want another, it ain't going to be another Jordan Archer situation, because he was next level, that guy. And I said to you, he never played decent level ever again. And he sits getting splinters on QPR's bench every week. He will drop out of football into the non-leagues eventually. Keep your eyes peeled for a fucking Bromley transfer soon. This is the problem. It's George Long, right? And he's not Jordan Archer. But I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. People say we don't score enough goals going forward. It is pivotal in games like this that you get the key moments right. And George Long is not up to this level. He used to play for Hull. Hull aren't as good as us. He was only ever Hull's number 2. Right? He's probably a very good League One goalkeeper. Right? But if you want to get in the top 6 in the Championship, George Long's not going to do that for you. And I don't know where you've all got this idea from that he's so good, because he's never actually done anything for us other than concede a lot of sloppy goals. On the other hand, and it's not just our fan base, it's all fan bases, you've all fucking turned on Bart very, very quickly. Bart shot to bits. Why? Tell me why in the comments. Bart shot to bits. Back-to-back player of the year. Yes, he's old. Yes, his knees are fucked. I've got news for you. His knees were fucked when he walks in the door. That's why he failed a medical twice. He walks down the street like me after I've been on the dance floor the next day. He can hardly walk, but what he can do is save the fucking ball. He's a brilliant shot stopper. What he also does is he knows when to come and when not to come. And 9 times out of 10, he never comes because he knows he's not going to get there. Long comes out. In real time, I didn't think it was that bad because I thought he'd come about 4 or 5 yards. On watching the highlights, what is he doing? Honestly, he must have seen a cappuccino station. He's rushed out. He is almost at the penalty spot, absolutely in no man's land. And I've got no issue with him coming, but he'll know as a cat, and I know as well as a former cat, if you come as a goalkeeper, you call, you clear the way, you have got to get there. You've got to get there. Bolkowski doesn't come for that, full stop. Would he have saved the header? It went in off the post. Not so sure, but I definitely would have liked to have seen the outcome. And we could see the goal, 1-1. Again, people, in my opinion, a lot of fans pointing fingers in the wrong direction and the wrong people. Again, after the game, Bradshaw. Well, we're not going to get the playoffs because we got Bradshaw up front. We can't score enough goals. I interviewed Sean Williams last week before. If you haven't seen it, it's up on the channel. Lions Lounge Lockdown. There's about 65 ex-player interviews on there. Last 3, Sean Williams, Kenny Jackett, Sean Dyche. Really enjoyed all of them. So get a look at them. But getting back to the point, Sean Williams said to me, I asked him about Lee Gregory, and he said that guy will chase a crisp packet in the wind for you. Bradshaw does the same, right? Bradshaw does the same. And it ties him with Long a bit as well. Long's brilliant with his feet, is he? Even if he was, okay, do we pop out the back like Man City do? No. We go and play out the back. We fucking lump Long. Long lumps Long, 70-yarders. So Bradshaw is 5'9". You do the math. It doesn't fucking work out, does it? People's problem with Bradshaw. What did he do wrong Saturday? Thought we'd done everything right, to be honest with you. Any opportunity he had, he got pulled down, should have been a penalty. He chases hard, he works hard, he won quite a few aerial duels. His hold-up plays got better. But as much as I love him, and I do, Brad, as you know that, he needs help in that area. He's got the wide men now, but I'm saying if something does happen to Bradshaw, he gets injured, or, we've got a lot of games coming up this month. It does show how very, very light we are in that area. Extremely light. And I think that is the thing now that will stop us progressing this season. I hope I'm wrong. But I feel that we could potentially get found out this month. Not found out. I think the strain on the squad, the lack of resources in the front line, and the sheer amount of games against a few good sides, it will definitely make or break our season this month, in my opinion. So, Burke and Watmore, welcome to the club. Glad they're there. They will definitely supply Bradshaw. And if you feed him, he'll score. But if something was certain to him, or with the sheer amount of games we've got coming up, you'll have to bring Volksammer in at some point. And for a lot of you keep saying, well, Volksammer could be this, could be that. Volksammer will return to Germany at some point.